Hey y'all, what's up? This battle rap bae. So, taking a break from the battle rap. I know I haven't made any videos regarding that in quite some time, but for those of you who have been following the Oblock 6 trial, I've been following that personally. The trial's been going on for about three and a half months at this point. The prosecution and defense rested last week. The jury has been deliberating for about 2.5 days. I know today would have been, the end of today would have been the third full day that they have deliberated, and they have just been found guilty, all 6. Now, one of the people who is allegedly responsible killed himself during the investigation. One of the people who is on trial is accused of calling the other individuals while he was out shopping on the Gold Coast and happened to spot FBG Duck shopping for his son. And he called these other guys who were seen on video rushing up to the apartment, getting their masks, getting, they sticks, and then rushing back down to their cars. And they were followed on license plate readers and cameras all the way to the scene where they executed this man in broad daylight in the Gold Coast shopping district of Chicago. Now, I was just speaking with someone else about this, and I don't want to say I'm conflicted, but when we sign up for certain things, you know what you sign up with, you know what you sign up for, and you know what comes with that. So you have to be okay with the consequences of it. Now, with that being said, this man was executed on his child's birthday. En route to the child's party, he stopped to get a couple of things for himself and that child. And because someone saw him, and that person who saw him, he had been sleeping with that person's girlfriend, baby mama, whatever the case may be, that person placed the call that caused him to be executed on his child's birthday. Now, with that being said, if you think about it, that child's birthday will never, ever be the same because he lost his father on that day. That is incredibly sad. So sad. Like I said, it's not like they were hanging out in Oblock or on 63rd, or forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but in these areas where the gangbangers do their thing. You did this in the Gold Coast shopping district, where all those go shopping and spend their big money. They were not about to let this go. They have half-ass investigated plenty of other murders of black men who have been involved in the gang culture and lost their life to their rivals or whatever the case may be. Now, if they'd have kept that mess on Oblock or kept that mess in 63rd, they might not have had an issue the way that they did. But being that they went to this exclusive shopping area and conducted this execution in the manner in which they did, broad daylight, in front of all of these different people, like the state, this was a federal case. The feds did not play, and I'm sure they thought that this was just going to be another murder that was committed and there would be no consequences for it. But the feds were on that behind. They came, and they came strong. So it's unfortunate that black men lose their lives in the way that they do, either killing each other or to the system behind stupid decisions. This was something that did not have to happen. Now, it's been said that King Von was one of the ones who paid to put the hit on FBG Duck. There was a rivalry between the two of them, as well as the inflammatory diss record that FBG Duck released right before his demise, called Dead Bitches. If you haven't listened to that, it is super disrespectful. And I really do feel like when it comes to drill music, when they get to making these disses that diss their ops dead, they have settled within themselves to know they're coming, and they gonna come how they need to come. So it's just unfortunate that it went to that level. FBG Duck's career was just beginning to take off. And yeah, it's just sad that things have come to this point. I am so glad for his mother, Lashina Weekly. They call her Mama Duck. Now, a lot of people have their own feelings about how she's conducted herself since the passing of FBG FBG Duck. I personally, as a mother who's lost a child, do not judge her for the way that she conducts herself online. No one can say how this woman feels, if she's really grieving her son, or if what she's doing is clout chasing. I don't think so. I think, she does what she does to keep his name in the public's eye, in the spotlight. She does a great job of that. Some of the controversy that she kind of gets wrapped up in is what causes people to feel like, she's clout chasing. They say she has an OnlyFans and this, that, and the third. Listen, it's 2024. I don't think there's anything wrong with her having an OnlyFans if that's what she chooses to do. She is grown. She speaks about Duck and Brick, although she's lost a lot more children than just those two. She speaks about those two the most, I feel like, because those are the ones that the public knows more. You hear those names a lot more frequently. FBG Duck was an artist. He has a fan base. Brick was well known as well. Her other children may not be as well known, so that's not to say that she doesn't still feel such a tremendous loss when it comes to them as well. But my heart goes out to her. My heart goes out to FBG Duck's children. My heart goes out to the guys' families who got convicted today, because I'm sure their fathers as well, their children are losing them to a certain degree. I believe the sentencing phase would be conducted at a later date, but it's all been said that they'll be receiving life in prison as a result of this conviction. And again, the feds don't play. They had that case sold up. The defense attorneys tried on several occasions to have a mistrial declared. Now, because they were taking so long to deliberate, I wasn't sure if we weren't going to have a mistrial when it came to this situation. And of course the feds would have tried him again, but I was kind of thinking it was going to go to a mistrial when it came to these guys. But there was just so much evidence that pointed at each and every individual there. Like one of them, forgive me for not knowing the name right offhand, one of the defendants tried to say last minute as like a Hail Mary, hey, it wasn't me, it was my cousin, the one that killed himself. It was him that was driving the car, it wasn't me. And as you can see, the judge did not go for that, and of course the jury didn't buy it. So again, yeah, the Oblock 6 have all been convicted of not just the murder of FBG Duck. This was a whole live Rico. Now, when you think about it, FBG Butter got on the stand, and Swiper, what does he go by? It's escaping me right now. But the other blogger, who also was paid to do some investigative work as well as to testify during this trial, they both got on the stand, and it's been said that some of the things they said on the stand really didn't help the prosecution or the defense. They just kind of tried to remain neutral. But you have to think about some of the things that were said. I know Butter in particular said some things about how they asked about who killed K.I. K.I. was a female gang member who slid and got slid on, and they say King Von is the one who killed K.I. Well, Butter had been denying that Von had been the one who executed K.I. He said for the longest it was not him. Well, he got on the stand during his trial and said it actually was Von who committed the murder. Now, during K.I.'s murder, during that shooting, FBG Butter got shot as well. So he was saying he knows who committed the murder because he was there. He actually got shot too. And the only reason why he didn't tell is because he planned on sliding on Von himself, which of course he would say that now that Von is gone. But now, again, going back to this Oblock 6, one of the things that everybody pointed to when it came to them being guilty was the fact that King Von went out and bought a bunch of Oblock chains. And there was a particular video on YouTube where you could see him passing out those chains and money to the Oblock 6. I think it was only one person who is on trial for this Rico and murder that was not in that video who did not receive an Oblock chain or any money. Now, draw from that what you want, but it's been alluded to that that whole act, him giving those chains and him giving that money, was as a result of the bounty that was put on FBG Duck's head. Now, that did happen after Duck passed away. But going back to what I was saying just a second ago, FBG Butter got on the stand and made a whole bunch of inflammatory statements. So I am interested to see what the feds are going to do next. They will probably start indicting a lot more of these people. They said it was some more to come out of this. They are not finished investigating. So I would not be surprised if they start snatching up a bunch of these different gangs and cliques and hitting them with Rico. Because if you've been watching TV, you watch the news, you any way are familiar with what's going on in Chicago, it is crazy when it comes to the guns, gangs, and violence. They do not call it Chirac for nothing. So I could see this being like the catalyst of that state or that city trying to crack down on all of the gangs, gun, and violence that's going on, because it has put a spotlight on them and a spotlight on their efforts to prosecute people as a result of the things that they do in pursuit of these gangs. So, you know, as a black woman, as a mother, I hate to see it happen, but unless they're willing to stop this craziness on their own, something has to be done to kind of pull it all together and put an end to all this shit. But, you know, going back to the topic at hand, the Oblock 6 have been found guilty. Next, they moved to sentencing unless the sentencing was done during the trial. Of course, they did not allow any media, no nothing, the entire trial. There were a couple journalists, bloggers that were there, and that was a whole nother mess within itself. But news has come out that the Oblock 6 have been convicted. Not much of a surprise to anybody who's been following it. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. My brothers, please wake up. Chase money, chase girls. Stop hurting each other. Stop hurting each other. There's a bigger war to fight, and that's not amongst each other. Please. Now, rest in peace to FBG Duck. Love and peace to his family. I hope his children are surrounded by peace, love, and encouragement. They're going to need all of that. And yeah, check you guys out on the next video.